Good morning, my friends. I have a project I want to do inspired by a recent family lunch. Look at these. I got a whole bunch. I am so happy about this. We went out to a restaurant as we do once a month, and this particular place had cutlery sleeves. Now, I very seldom see these here in New Zealand. Look, some have even got serviettes still in them. And I collected up all of the family members' cutlery sleeves, apart from a couple that had been too sullied. You know, what on earth were they doing with their sleeves? I don't know. But they got a bit mucky, so I was like, ones with actual, like, bits of food on, no. Left those behind. Some of these have like a little mark or something. And Mum was like, oh, but that's got a mark on it. And I'm like, Mum, I will be covering them. Which I did think was what I was going to do. But I've come up with an idea. I had a little play, and I've got an one off to the side, which I've had a play with, to see whether what I was thinking would work. And I think it's going to. I didn't fully conceive the idea. I just got it to a stage where, yeah, I think this is a goer. So I want one that's fairly clean. This one looks clean to start with. So let's crack into it, and I hope you are all doing well, my friends. Right, now the first thing I want to do is, it's slightly too tall for my page. This is my typical page size. So I'm going to just trim a bit off the top. I don't want to take too much off. I want it still to be close to the height of my page, but I don't want it overhanging my page. And we're going to make a belly band, but a belly band with a little something extra. Okay, so that's a good height. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open it. And the first time I did this with my little template, I didn't open it up. And then I was like, okay, well, what I'm planning is working. How about if I open it up? Will that work? And I managed to. So fingers crossed. We're going to just take a craft knife. Now, I do know that this black is probably a little hard to see detail on in camera. So hopefully you can get a good enough kind of idea. So this bottom flap here, and I'm not going to give sizes or anything because your cutlery sleeves may be different size to mine. Your page will be a different size to mine according to the format of the journal and whether you're using A4 or US letter. So just make things fit. There's no like it's got to be this size or whatever. It's just like work with what you've got and make it fit. Okay, so just being very careful to put my knife under that flap because I want to retain the integrity of both sides. And now we've got a side seam here. So I'm going to do the same thing, just keeping my knife really flat and trying, I don't know that I'm actually being that successful on this one, trying to just split. Oh no, I've definitely mucked up this one, but that's okay. That's okay. It's all friends here. Pretty much it is still intact. We still have a whole flap. I haven't actually chopped the flap off or cut it and left it attached to this side. So just gently ease a knife in between and should be okay. Now if you get one that's not glued together very well, it's going to be an absolute breeze, isn't it? So I'm just going to take off this little bit of paper that I did slice off, because we're going to be gluing it back together. But I thought opening it up might make a few steps just a little bit easier to do and give you more options on which way to jump, which will become clear in due course. Bear with me, my friends. So I've it's been an old time recently, hasn't it? I haven't done a lot of videos, or for weeks there were none. And then hubby was sick last week at the end of the week and over the weekend, and so I had planned to do a video the end of last week, and that flew out the door. along with its bugs. So here we are now, halfway through the next week, and I'm getting a video done, which is cool. And I feel good about this, feel good about getting a video done. Now this is going to be glued down onto the page, so it doesn't matter if it's, you know, it doesn't look great. It has got some marks, but like I think it's just the nature of the paper. Like they're not smearing, they're not rubbing off or anything, they're just there, and you won't see them. Okay, so we've got a fold out sleeve like so. Now if you don't have a lot of sleeves, like I hardly ever see them, you might want to do this and make a template so you can make your own sleeves. In fact, I might do that right now. I hadn't planned this, but let's grab a bit of paper. Actually, I don't want to use good paper, do I? Yes, I'm sorry about the ums. Right, I'm just going to use this ledger paper because it is right next to me. And I haven't used any ink on it, so I'm not wasting ink by using a printed paper. Because I want a template, so the template then I'll take and trace around on a good piece of paper. Right, pencil. So let's just do this quickly first. So if you would like a template of a cutlery sleeve, once you've cut yours open, then do this like I'm doing. So just flattened out and whoops, trace around the edge just real quick, trying to keep nice and tight. Whoops, keep drawing on it nice and tight to the edge. And I do recommend pencil in case you do draw on parts of it that you aren't going to cover up, or that might be visible in a piece of ephemera you make, so that you can just rub any oopses like I've got off. I'm sure you know this, guys, but yeah, just in case anybody's ready to reach for a pen and do their template. So there we have a simple template, and I'm just going to write on it cutlery sleeve. So I'll put it aside, probably forget to cut it out, and that way I'll remember what it is when I come across it in 2 years' time, or whenever. Right, so I'm just going to, it's hard to see on the black, but I can see it, so I'm just going to rub out a couple of areas where I went over. This one I don't think will matter, but we might as well do it. And I think that's all. Yep. So, well, why not make a template since we've got it all open? Okay, so we've got this fun angle part here, which is the top of our pocket. So that's the front. I'm going to just tuck this flap under, and I'm going to grab a punch, and I'm just going to use a circle, good old circle punch. This is my 1 3/4 inch, I think. What is it? I keep forgetting. No, 2 inch. 2 inch. No. Yeah, 1 3/4. I was right to begin with. Right, and I am just going to punch some holes. So some of them I'm going to go right in the middle, and some I'm going to do on the edge. Now, yeah, we will be going into the flap, but that's okay. I'm just going to take a little smidge out, and on my prototype I did some along this edge, but that's when I had it folded like so. So we'll, and take as many holes as one would like. Got a little bit caught in my punch there. Come on. There we go. Because it's folded paper, it's getting caught up. Do I want any more? Okay, so this is interesting because I hadn't seen, or will it? Like we've got this residue here, but if we fold that flat back in like it was originally supposed to, I don't know, maybe I actually prefer it punched all the way out. Maybe we don't need to open it. Just want to, do I want to do that? Sorry guys, I thought I had my plan all worked out. No, I'm going to leave it as is. I think it's fine. And then do I want to do one on this edge, which would go all the way through. You could use different size punches, or a combination of punches even. Just whatever reaches. And if you don't have punches or you want to get to places that a punch won't reach, then die cut. I thought about die cutting, I just couldn't be bothered going and getting everything out, so it was like, oh, I'm just going punches. It's like, it's on my desk, it's easy. So just to show you, this is the one I did to see if it would work. This was done while it was still glued together flat, and I've just punched all the way through. So actually, if I put it on the paper, so we've got punch outs on the edge and some in the middle, and of course it's easier to reach with your punch when it's all folded up, and you get these cool sort of edge ones. And what that means is when you put a tag or whatever inside, imagine it's together now, you'll see bits of your tag through it. You think it's cool? I think it's cool. I think it's got potential. But I'm, you know, even though I had done this and thought, yeah, I know where I'm headed, there's still a few details that I'm like, oh, now which way do I actually want to do it? Now you could actually fold that on the back, that outside flap, if you wanted, rather than having it on the inside. And I think I actually like it on the back, excuse me, apart from this rough part. Now if you're doing grungy, that rough part would not matter, just where the paper on the flap has still got a bit of residue there. But you could cover it, so why don't we do that? And I'm going to cover it with something decorative. Let's go green. So these papers here that I'm using are from my Colour Essentials kits. There's the mottled and there's the plaid, however you pronounce it. I think I tend to say it differently to everybody else, but that's okay, as long as you know what I mean. So let's just trim off the white on the edge here. And I don't want a huge piece, so this is about 2 7/8. So let's just cut off 3 inches. Or no, let's go to the 7/8. It's not quite 7/8, but let's not waste paper if we don't need to, by 1/8 of an inch. Right, so we need to take just a little smidge off the height as well. So I'm just going to turn this over. And we don't need to go all the way to the bottom. No, we don't. So I can make it a little bit shorter. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that in there. So I want it all the way to the top, I think, so that when we close it, we're getting that pop of colour through. And you don't have to cover the entire inside if you don't want to, if you're not trying to cover over any little imperfections. But I thought it would be quite nice too to have something in the background for when you do remove the tag or whatever's in it, that you've still got something. So you could add little pictures in the back, would be another way. Some fussy cuts, like it's a little window that, and they're hidden until you take the whatever's inside out, and then you've still got something peeking through. Would be quite fun. I do have another idea for those windows as well. Let's put this here. Oops. All right. Right, and I've just got a little overhang which I'll just trim up with the scissors. Whoops, try not to cut the cutlery sleeve itself would be good. I keep wanting to bite into the cutlery sleeve for some reason, but it's alright. Okay, so we've got this fun colour peeking through and pattern. Now another idea is to grab something, so you could put pictures, like line them up and put them on here, like pictures or some sort of element in the back, or if you wanted to put something on the back of here to cover these apertures, you can take something like chocolate wrappers. You know, got a whole bunch of chocolate wrappers here, various wrappers that you could, you know, put in behind there, like so, if you want something a bit blingy, a bit glitzy, or foil lids from a bottle of whatever it is, whether it's sour cream or yogurt or something, you know, the ones that have the foil lids, you could use the foil lids. You could use tin foil, and if you've got alcohol inks, you could colour up the tin foil with your alcohol inks or alcohol markers to give it a bit more interest. So that's an option. I'm not going to play with that today. Whoops, sorry, that was quite loud. So if you wanted to do something, or you could put acetate or tracing paper or vellum or something in behind those if you wanted a clear window with plastic or something. My only watch point, I guess, with that, if you do put anything on the inside on this side, is making sure that when you slide in your piece of ephemera, when you slide this in, that it doesn't catch on the edges of whatever you've put in behind. So if you're putting clear windows, say vellum for example, you're not going to want to put anything over top of that because you're going to lose the effect of the vellum. But if you're putting like chocolate wrappers or something in behind, then I would actually cover the whole thing then in another piece of paper, so that when the ephemera slides in, it's not catching, like if you've got an edge of a chocolate wrapper here, so it's not like catching. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. One of the things I was concerned about this whole deal was that your piece of ephemera would catch on your holes, and it doesn't. You do need to make sure you put it in vertically, so you're not like going in sideways, but I mean that wouldn't work anyway, would it? And even this with the double holes in the back and the front, this is, let's actually just fold that inside bit to the outside, and this is not glued together, so I'm working with a double layer, which is just making it a little bit I know what the problem is. I put a bit of glue there because I tried opening it and then changed my mind and glued it shut. And then when I did slice it open, I've got this bit of glue at the top that's stopping things. But it actually slides in really easily. Now with this double-sided one, if you want to go the double-sided one, then on a page you can either leave it to have the page peeking through. So if this was our page, so that the design of the page peeked through, or you could put something in behind that again. Don't know how to show that, but like say, yeah, so the yellow one's our page, and then maybe you back it with a different colour, just kind of have that like sitting behind. So 2 options: do it all the way through or open it out, cut just the top layer. 2 different looks. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm so scatterbrained at the moment, like I can't string a coherent thought together. So please bear with me, guys. We will get there. So this one, I think I'm pretty happy with the way it is. So I'm going to glue it back, but instead of gluing the flat back on the inside, how it was originally, I'm going to fold it around to the back. So let's do that. And those holes aren't going to matter. They'll be nice and stable because that's glued down. And then the bottom flap, glue that back up. And we've got a sleeve again, or a pocket. So that will go on the page as a belly band. So we've got all that space in behind. Because this flap is over here, it might pay to make this as this, so it goes in this side rather than this side, so it doesn't catch on that flap. Otherwise, tuck that back inside and cover it over. But I think that's really cool. So I've got this opening this way, so you would slide something in behind the belly band this way, as opposed to this way, which is going to catch on that side flap if we do it that way. So put it on that side of the page. Another option is, if you didn't want that, you could just take the flap off altogether and then just glue down the side on the inside. You will lose a bit of width of your belly band pocket, but you know, if that's easier or if that's going to work better for you, that is an option. Right, so I've only got 2 big circles and then one little side bit out there. So what I think I might do is pop something in the middle. So I've grabbed out forest threads from Rach and Bella Crafts. And I thought maybe there's something, maybe a little fussy cut or something in here would look really nice in the middle. So let's see what we've got. It's a long time since I've played with this kit, so well, that's quite pretty. Would we prefer a bird? I don't know if the bird will... Oh, actually the bird works. We could go for a bird. That one I think's a bit big. I'm reacquainting myself with all these pretty bits. So I will have the link to this kit in the description box below. Do we want to have it interacting with the circle, like perched on the circle? I feel like it's almost coming off, if that makes sense. No, too much a lean. That's the one I was playing with. I'm just playing. I don't need to look at every option, but I am playing, because that's the fun of it, isn't it? I think that one goes more upright like that. No. They're cute birdies. So many cute birdies. That one's tail's going to hang off if I do that, so no. No. So I've got some really beautiful florals like these, and they've all got like a embroidered look. Like you can see the stitches on them. They're so cool. I think colour wise that's not the best option. Have I got 2 copies? Looks like I've got 2 copies of everything. No. There's a kingfisher. If that hole was over further, it would sit really nicely. Just this got the same curve on the post, but it means this tail would hang over. So no. This one's got a colour that ties in beautifully with that green, as does this one. This is a smaller version, I think. No, it's actually a different altogether. No, colour ties in, but the shape doesn't work in this. So what are we going to go with, guys? What do you reckon? Do we want flowers? I mean, who doesn't want flowers? Or do we want a birdie? This bird was quite... I think I want the yellow bird. Okay, thanks for bearing with me through that. And I think I want a bit of book page or for this scrap of music that I've got in my bin. It's quite a cool scrap actually. Maybe, will it work? Will it work? I like it like that, so let's work with that. Nice. It's got a very sort of organic fluid shape to it, which appeals, which is probably why I didn't throw it out. Oh, why is that really, really sticky and gross? Glue on. Oh my gosh, I am so stuck up. Hang on guys, I need an actual wet wipe, because I like literally can't touch anything without sticking to it. Right, fresh wet wipe. And let's, oh my gosh, that is gross. I don't know how on earth that happened. I haven't used the glue stick, have I? Yeah, no, I did. I glued on the paper, didn't I? I must have. I don't know what I did. But, yeah, gross. It's just a little craft room cleanup happening. Oh, I can... No, it's... Oh, gross. Sorry, guys. I can still feel it. And I don't like it. Maybe that's better. Hope so. Right. Let's try this again. Right. Make sure we get it glue the right side down. Yeah, I don't like my hands being dirty. Like the feeling of glue or dirt or... Yeah, I just don't like it. It's, do you get me? The can't handle it. It's gross. Now I think I might just dress around our birdie friend here. So yeah, I love crafting and I love doing all the different things, but I just don't actually like having things on my hands. And so in the course of a day, even when I'm not crafting, you know, if I'm just like, if I pick up a bit of firewood or, you know, or something, or feed the cats, then I've got to wash my hands. I just even if I didn't get anything on me, it's just like, you know, nice. I don't know, I'm a strange kettle of fish. I think it's one of the reasons I don't enjoy gardening. Oh, I definitely know it's one of the reasons I don't enjoy gardening. I like harvesting and planting, but I don't like the dirt under my fingernails, on my hands, and I don't like the spiders. Is probably the biggest reason is the spiders, but yeah, just the feeling of the dirt on my hands, I don't like it. I just don't like it, guys. It's gross. Right, but we are planning on putting in veggie gardens for this next season, so wish me luck. Okay, I have chosen not to put anything in the apertures themselves. Oh, excuse me. The tag itself is going to show through, and I think that's going to be quite nice. And I'm going to use this Reader's Digest condensed book page as my tag base because it fits beautifully. So we may as well go with it. So I'm just going to glue the two halves together. It's just one page which I've folded vertically in half. Couldn't be simpler. So I'm just going to make sure I get a nice seal around the edges with the tacky glue. I've just got a few crusty bits of glue from where I pulled it out the book along the edge, so we'll just get rid of those because we don't want those. Okay, so there's our base. What do I want to decorate with? Well, first we want to cover it, you know, maybe we do a little bit of collage. So we've got green and yellow and a bit of blue happening there, so let's try and keep in with those colours loosely. So envelope in it is always a good go-to. Here's a bit of green. I'm not trying to be matchy-matchy, but just kind of tie in. Not sure on that piece. That could be fun. Just bringing in a few other colours, which I don't mind. It's a bit of jelly print. Right, how are we going? Have we got enough? Let's see. I think I'll just put that. Whoops, we've got an extra fold. Well, let's get rid of that fold there because it's just messy. And pop that on. It's getting all bent up out of shape in my bag, so let's use it. Oh, I think my glue page is getting a bit sticky. Oh yeah, there's a clump of glue on the, oh my gosh. Got clumps of glue on that edge, two big clumps of glue, and then I've got one on the front here. Gosh, I feel like I've never crafted in my life and that I'm making such a mess. Right, now this one is what I scrape the glue off with. So now I need to make this not sticky. So I don't transfer it back. Right. Right, now I can get rid of this glue page, which now has clumps of glue on it, which is just revolting. Right, in the bin you go. Do that there. I'm just going to cut that. So odd shapes, I don't care. Well, actually, I enjoy odd shapes, so it's not about not caring, it's about enjoying the randomness of it. This is an old glue page, so it's a little bit sticky anyway. Keeps sticking to my desk. Okay, this one's not drawing me. In fact, I just don't like it, so I'm throwing it out. Okay, do I want that? I think I want this more. Yeah, okay. Using up some stuff in my scrap bag is good. My poor scrap bag, which has been, like all of my crafting stuff, abandoned for it feels like months. Right there, over a little bit. And maybe this, would this fit up here? Yep, okay. We didn't use those bits. I'm going to throw that out. It's like enough is enough. Oh, another gouge out of my glue stick. This time I got it back on my glue stick though. So hubby's work is settling into their new building. I was there yesterday and yeah, it's going well. You know, there's a few logistical teething issues as there is with anything like that, which they're working through, and I mean, they always operate as a good team, but you know, it's even more evident in this time. Some people have worked 13 days in a row. So that's huge. That is such a massive push for some of them. Right, writing paper on the back, and I've got a bit of brown paper bag here, so which do I want to retain this as a background? It's actually quite a good splatter background, so maybe we won't use that. That's too short. It'll have some creases in it, but it will be fine. Right, okay. Right, so I'm just going to use glue stick in the middle and tacky glue around the edge. think my glue stick is suffering from the heat of this room. Some evenings it's got up to like 27, 28 degrees in this room with the fire going, which we're not used to. Like, it's that new insulation that we got in January, it's really having an impact. And so in the evening, sometimes we're just like, whoa, it's so hot. We're like stripping down off all the winter layers and, you know, hanging out in our singlets. It's so funny. It's nice though. It's such a nice change, and it's just while we adjust to, you know, how much to feed the fire. And hubby's a little bit excessive on feeding the fire because he's not home all day, and sort of, you know, so he's feeding the fire in the evenings like we used to. And that I've learnt that you have to let it burn down a bit so you get a bit of a respite from just like full on heat. So it's quite fascinating. And of course he wasn't well, so when you're not well you feel the cold. So while he was sick, he was feeding the fire up, and at times I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting here sweating like it's the middle of a hot heat wave in summer. It's so funny. Which of course then, as soon as it starts to cool down, that sweat cools as well and makes you feel cold. So yeah, interesting stuff. Right. Round the corners, let's see if this little one's going to, it's still wet, so possibly not a good idea. It went through one layer, didn't go through the other. Oh, went through both that time. Yay! Right, now do I want to make it a tag shape at the top? Oh, I've got to even that up. It was a little bit hanging over at the top. I think I'll just give it a sort of a light clip on the corners, not a deep one. Excuse me. I think I have actually had a little touch of the cold as well. Just very, very minor, like just like, you know, bit of a nose running every now and then and things like that. But I certainly wouldn't have said I've had like a cold, like not full on. Just little niggles, I think. My coffee's cold, so that's yummy. Not. Okay, let's give it a distress. Sorry, I just left you hanging there. And I've done it up the opposite way. I've cut the tag the opposite way to what I collaged it, which is absolutely fine. There's no real direction to it, so it's all good. It was just done without thinking. Fortunately, I had nothing that really, like words or anything that was like, no, that's definitely wrong. I would have just had to retrim it. Now that's needs a bit of flattening out. So thank you to everyone who is sticking with me and coming back and watching still. I have seen quite a downturn in numbers, and you know, that's okay. That's what it is. Right, and I think we want to decorate this with pieces from Forest Threads. Let's see if there's anything we want on the background. These might all be a bit large. Oh, there's a little template bit. Although that could be quite cool, like offset. I think those are not quite the right colour. Oh, there's a pocket. I think I want a bird. Oh, excuse me. It was kind of half a burp, half a hiccup. No, that one doesn't quite work because of the position of the bird. Neither does this one. This one works really well because it's over to the side. So maybe we just go with that. And some music again. Kind of want something vertical. So something more like this. Up the right way. I'm just going to take off this edge because it's curly and yeah, it's not pleasing me. Be good for grunge, but I've got plenty, so we're not going to be precious about it. Sheet music is one of those things that I find difficult to turn down. Like if I see it in an op shop, things like that. It's like, no, I've got to, I want it. I want it. Now, do I want that frame edge? Yes, I think I do. Right, let's put the music on first. The other thing, I just seeing them on the side of the desk, the other cool thing about punching the holes is you end up with some really cool punch outs, depending on what colour your sleeve is. Mine are black, so you know you can still do something with that even though it's got a brown edge on it. Like fun circles to do something else with. And even like the ones on the side that you punch out, you get these fun sort of oval, football shaped almost. And I thought, I wonder if I could do something with those. Okay, let's give this a little edge. How are we doing on time? My goodness, I am seeming to spend a lot of time doing not much. That's how it seems to me. So I haven't done all the way around because we're going to be chopping off. Yeah, that works. Okay, actually, do I want to chop so that I'm not gluing? I think about there, looks good. So let's do that. So I'm not gluing on the part that we're going to chop off, because that could be used somewhere else. No, collage material. So if I don't have glue on the back, it can go in my scrap bag. Somehow I failed to get glue on that edge. Special skills, I tell you, special skills. Right, let's just give that a little lick of ink. No tongues involved. I know, I'm crazy. Say the weirdest things. This is the last 2 pages from this Reader's Digest condensed book, my old glue book. Glue pages. So I'm just going to fold those together because they've both been used, and then once I've glued on that, it'll be done. That'll be that book finito. Okay, and I think I want something up here, and we do have some labels from this Forest Threads, so let's have a wee peek in here and see what it's a bit big. This one feels that blends in too much. These are all quite large, I think. This one, no, not quite the right orientation. That's big. They're both big. That's the wrong orientation. So this is pretty much it, because I've used this kit for a journal, so I'm just working with little bits that are left. Oh, what if I do that and chop that off, or wrap it around? I could wrap it around. Okay, let's do that. It's got a yeah, I'm gonna not distress around this. It's got a green border, so let's leave the green border. So we'll take up a little bit of writing space on the other side. That's fine. Just wrap it around. Just add a little bit of interest to that reverse side. That's quite cool. Okay, and now I think one more thing I'd like is a word. I don't think there's words in here, so let's go to my bin of stamped words. I feel like it needs to be fairly big, like almost like this is your one of a kind, something like that. Have I got anything that's similar, but not that? This is not that, but it could work. This is actually on coffee dyed cardstock. Let's cut one off. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Okay. I'm going to round the corners on this little piece. Bit of ink. Yeah, nice. I like that. Now, because this is cardstock, I'm going to use the tacky glue. I don't know why I didn't stamp on the darker side. That would have been quite nice, but oh well, I didn't. Right, hold that down for a minute just to make sure it sticks. And then I think I'll give this a little slot punch. Quite a few layers it's punching through there. Right, give that a little ink around it as well. And then we can put something in that as a topper. See how it just actually slides in really nicely. What do I want in there? Got this little bit of, it's not tulle, it's softer than tulle, but it's similar. I think the colours might work. Wondering if I could do it like, is this going to be too much? We shall find out. And then I'll just snip that other loop in half, like so. I like that. That's cool and it's pretty. And so that will go in there. So we've got writing space in our inside our pocket, which is a belly band, so on the page there, and then we put a journal card. This is not a journal card, this is a tag template, but in behind. That works well too, actually. So glued to the page, top and bottom, and we've got a pocketed belly band with some extra little fun cutouts. So there we go, that is my idea using the cutlery sleeve. If you don't have cutlery sleeves, then just whip yourself up a belly band that is a pocket, a vertical pocket as well, and do some cutouts. Like, you don't need a cutlery sleeve, but using a cutlery sleeve, recycling those bits and pieces is fun. So there we go, multiple ways that you can achieve this project. I hope you enjoyed the project. Hope it's something you might want to give a go or inspire you to have a play. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for bearing with my craziness today. And I'll catch you again, probably not till next week. But all my love, and again, thank you so much for being here and sticking with me. Take care, my friends. Bye.